Howdy folks, I'm Brian and here's some Reddit. Before we begin, I want to thank June Quintana for her vote for Cure Childhood Cancer. We will be donating $25 to Cure Childhood Cancer based on her vote. So thanks. Thank you for sharing your intimate story about your cousin whose daughter passed away, and hopefully we can help to eliminate this terrible disease in the future. All right. Our first story is titled, Am I the Jerk for Asking My Girlfriend to Stop Smiling So Widely for Photos? I'm a 43-year-old male and I met a 34-year-old female online several months ago. We began talking and really hit it off. She's a really pretty woman, but she does have a slight flaw to her physical appearance. She has a bad case of TMJ, which makes it so that when she gives a big smile, on one side of her mouth curls up into a huge grin, while the other side basically stands still. Every selfie that we've taken together has her looking like this. While I absolutely accept that this is just a condition she has, I wish she would do what she can to make it less noticeable. We've recently started talking about becoming engaged. Both sets of our parents are ecstatic, since they both apparently thought that grandkids weren't happening from either of us. But when the subject of engagement photos came up, I told her that she should not smile quite so broadly as to let her true, natural beauty shine through. She got really angry at this and said that the curled up lip on one side is her natural beauty, since it is her. She said that she isn't even sure if marrying me now is a good idea. I'm the youngest of 4 kids in my family and the only boy. My father is a 71-year-old male, and when he heard about this, he told me it's no wonder that none of my relationships have worked out through all these years, and then said that I needed to apologize and beg for her forgiveness. My mother, a 67-year-old female, said that I should have been nicer, but that she understands. I know all of this sounds bad, but I really just want her at her best, and this is not for my sake, but for hers. And you say this isn't for your sake, but this is for her sake. She seems to have accepted how she looks. I think it's you who's having trouble accepting this. And you say your girlfriend is perfect in basically every way, but she has one little flaw. Well, the thing is that if you look hard enough at anyone, you're going to find flaws. And it doesn't matter how close to perfect a person is, we all have our flaws. And flaws don't make us unbeautiful. Flaws are what make us beautiful. Flaws are what help to set us aside from other people, what allow us to be unique and shine in our own ways. And I'm not talking about like character flaws. In fact, I'm talking about physical or personality quirks or things like that, those kinds of flaws, not moral failing flaws, for instance. So these are the things that separate us from each other. They're the things that make us unique, and they're the things that make us wonderful people. So again, I know that what you're trying to do is you want your girlfriend to have beautiful photos that she'll cherish forever for her wedding and in her engagement. But the thing is that you have to understand that she's going to get those. She's not unhappy with the way she looks. She isn't talking about how miserable she is that she has TMJ and is causing her to smile improperly. This is all you. This is all a projection that you are putting on her. So again, I think that this was a jerky thing to say to her. I think that you should beg for her forgiveness. Your girlfriend isn't uncomfortable with her smile. It actually sounds like she likes it. You're the one who is embarrassed. What would be best for her is if she didn't marry you because you put perfect photos ahead of her happiness. You're the jerk. I have a smile similar to this where one side curls up and the other is more straight. I've had people tell me to fix it. How am I supposed to fix that? Yeah. You're the jerk. You should never ever do that. Apologize right now. Her smile is her natural beauty, and if you're offended by the pictures, she deserves better. You're 43 years old, and you should know better. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not making it known that I understand Spanish to my girlfriend's family when they talked about me? I'm a 24-year-old male, not Hispanic or anything. I'm white and was adopted by my parents when I was 5. My mom is Mexican, so I learned Spanish from her. I'm pretty fluent, and I guess that surprises people sometimes because I don't look the part. White, blonde hair, blue eyes, etc. Anyways, I've been with my girlfriend for a while, who is Hispanic. I've never mentioned that I'm bilingual because the topic was just never brought up. A month ago, her family wanted to meet me since we recently moved in together. We did it through Zoom, safety and all, and it was her parents, her grandma because she lives with her parents, and her sister. Everyone was welcoming and nice. Her grandma was the first to say something in Spanish, and her words surprised me because she was literally talking so nice about me and then suddenly switched to saying something else. She asked, why another white boy, pretty much. Then she asked when she could set her up with one of her friend's nephews. My girlfriend told her to stop, then her parents did the same. A couple of times during the conversation, they switched to Spanish whenever making a comment about me. My girlfriend at least always shut down their criticisms and told them to stop talking like that. To be honest, I didn't say anything because I was curious what their real thoughts on me were. It was kind of bad that they were so freely talking about me right in my face. I finally said something when her mom mentioned that my girlfriend told her that I was in college and asked what I'm studying. Her dad commented to her grandma in Spanish, no wonder he moved in with her if he's wasting all his money in school. See, the fact that we moved in together seems to be their hang-up with me. They're not happy that we moved in and think it's because she works full-time and I'm part-time and that I did it so I can mooch off her. Which isn't even true because we split the bills for everything. So I answered in Spanish, we moved in together because we wanted to take the next step in our relationship and we love each other. Then I answered her mom's question. I also added that I have several scholarships that pay for everything, so what I earn goes to living expenses. They all looked panicked and right away apologized a million times for what they said. My girlfriend was shocked too, but she didn't have an issue with what I did and thought the look on their faces were hilarious. She only felt bad that I did know what they were saying all along and apologized. Her sister is telling us what I did was petty and mean because I embarrassed them. That I should have said that I knew Spanish because that was a conversation I wasn't meant to understand or be part of. Therefore, it wasn't my business to listen in. It's like I was eavesdropping to her. I get that eavesdropping is bad and that they wouldn't have said anything if they knew I understood, so I guess I can see where she's coming from. Was I the jerk for not saying anything? And so, yeah, I think that eavesdropping is a little harsh to say since they were talking openly in front of you. No one asked you if you spoke Spanish, and no one asked you if you understood them. So in a lot of ways, they kind of got what was coming to them, and I think that her sister is just angry because they were embarrassed. And that their true colors were revealed on how petty they were being. So no, I don't think that you're a jerk. You did end up telling them that you spoke Spanish. It just wasn't immediately, and I think that, I don't know that that makes you a jerk here. Not the jerk. Her sister is calling you petty. If what you did is petty, what do you call talking about someone behind their back to their face in another language? It's pretty much the opposite of eavesdropping. They're only mad because they got called out for their BS. Don't let it bother you. Not the jerk. I wouldn't say that you're jerk. However, I am confused as how you've gotten to a point of moving in with someone without ever having mentioned that you fluently speak a foreign language. That seems so odd. I don't know. I think this happens sometimes. And I mean, it is a little suspect, but again, I have heard stories where people moved in, got married even, and didn't actually realize the other person spoke another language. I guess sometimes it's just not a topic that comes up. So I don't know. This seems so fake. Why is everyone falling for it? Of course, the revelation had to come in at a critical, dramatic way to showcase OP as superior to the jerk family. His language skills had never come up before as a topic of conversation with the girlfriend, even though it's her native language. The grandma speaks good English, but also has a prejudice against the girlfriend dating a white dude. And yeah, the issue that the mom raised obviously had to have an answer that would make OP look even better. Everyone looked panicked and apologized a million times. Did the people in the back clap as it was revealed that OP was actually Albert Einstein? For the record, I'm Hispanic and I'm married to somebody whose native language isn't Spanish. Even just from a few similarities between English and Spanish, most people would assume that the English speaker would understand a bit of the conversation anyways. And also, joining a Zoom conversation in which everyone was a native Spanish speaker except OP, somehow OP didn't get the idea of speaking Spanish until after the opportunity to shine arose. It's unfortunate that this does seem pretty suspect and not necessarily like there probably are a lot of plot holes in this. I'm leaning towards thinking that this is fake. Alright, our last letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making a big deal about 1 extra credit point on my child's test? My daughter had a spelling test which included some holiday words for extra credit. One of the words was Hanukkah. My daughter spelled it the way I just did, but the teacher marked it wrong and corrected it to Hanukkah. She said to my daughter, "You're Jewish and don't know how to spell Hanukkah?" I think that she meant it jokingly, but my daughter was annoyed. My daughter told the teacher that Hanukkah is correct, but the teacher didn't believe her. I told the teacher that Hanukkah was also a correct spelling and that my daughter should get the point. And the teacher argued with me, saying that Hanukkah is more correct because it's commonly used than Hanukkah. I said that if any spelling is more correct, it would be Hanukkah because the CH represents the sound from the back of the throat that you're supposed to make. The teacher agreed to correct the test, but seemed really sour about it and said that she was just trying to be inclusive. I said I appreciate that, but she should keep in mind that if a word isn't in English, that there might be multiple acceptable spellings for it and that they should all be given credit. My husband says I overreacted. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have been bothered so much if the word was something else, but I resented the teacher who isn't Jewish arguing with me and my daughter about how to spell our own holiday. So, I think the moral of the story is don't argue with people about how to spell their own holidays, their own religious holidays. That won't go well. No, I don't think this person's a jerk here. I think that they were upset, especially the way that the teacher talked down to their daughter and then showed no kind of remorse for the way they behaved. I think that's what makes the teacher the jerk in this case. If the teacher had said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize there were multiple ways of spelling this word," then I think that could have diffused the situation. But to tell the daughter, "Oh, you're Jewish and you don't know how to spell Hanukkah," I think that was really rude, and I think that crossed the line. And I can't blame the mom for wanting to stand up for her daughter in this case and correct the teacher. So yeah, not the jerk. You didn't make a big deal about 1 credit point. You made a big deal out of the teacher that incorrectly told your kid that she was wrong when she wasn't, and then she wouldn't listen to your daughter's explanation. You just taught your daughter if she's being treated unfairly, you have her back. You did well. Yeah, I think that one's a really good comment. Not the jerk. My own Jewish blood boiled at the thought of a non-Jewish teacher thinking that it was inclusive to mark a Jewish child's translation of a Hebrew word as wrong. Not the jerk. And what? Your teacher who's not Jewish is lecturing you and your Jewish family on the correct spelling of a holiday that she doesn't celebrate? You handled it far more calmly than I would have. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you didn't, consider giving me a thumbs down. Also, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone's comments. I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch these videos. And I really appreciate the time that folks took to vote as well in the contest. So thanks so much. I'm really grateful, and I'll see you all tomorrow.